YouTube. It's been a while since I've recorded a video going over some of the cards that I've been buying recently. I've actually been consolidating a little bit. I used to just kind of broadly buy a lot of stuff. I was like, oh, I have to have like every rookie and every Hall of Famer, and oh, I have to have baseball stuff, even though I don't really like baseball. It's fine, I'll watch a game, but it's not my favorite. And so I've been consolidating more into stuff that I personally like. And I've got a couple piles here. This is definitely going to be a video a little bit on the longer side. And so just a heads up if you're like not a fan of like Detroit sports or Detroit Pistons, etc. This may not be the video for you, and that's okay. Don't have to feel bad about it. I do have some other stuff mixed in that is pretty cool, but a lot of this will be kind of themed around that. You know, Pistons won the championship when I was in middle school, so obviously, you know, they know how to win a fan. But I've got some cool stuff here outside of that as well. I have a little bit of vintage. A lot of this is going to be modern. And just some fun stuff that I've been picking up. Some of this is going to be going off to grading. Some of this is going to be stuff more for my own collection. In the grading pile, there's going to be more of stuff that maybe I don't want to keep, but have it there just to offset some of the cost of grading. And then I also will have some PC stuff as well. So thank you so much for your time. Hope you enjoy these kinds of videos, and let's jump right in. So this right over here is a Joe Dumars rookie card. This is from 1986 Fleer. Obviously, if you've seen the Jordan card of this, then you recognize exactly what set this is from. This is one that I got at a card show about a month or two ago, and really happy with this. I think I got it for maybe $20 in a bundle deal, which is kind of around, maybe it was a little bit more than that, maybe it was in the 30 range, but I did pretty good at the card show that day. I sold off some bigger cards that kind of didn't fit my collection anymore. I don't really collect the 89-90 Pistons team as much, just because I wasn't even alive then. And I do love the Pistons. There's some older players that I do want to collect, but a lot of my collection starts with the 2003 team when they won the championship, like the Ben Wallace, Rasheed, etc. So the reason why I actually really wanted to get a good Joe Dumars card, and why I will continue to do that, is because he was actually the general manager of the Pistons for the 2003 team. And if I'm putting together kind of a collection that is building on that team, I think it would be weird to not include Joe Dumars in that. A couple other ones that I got from that same vendor at the card show. I know I said that I'm not trying to collect like every single Hall of Famer ever, but this is a really cool Julius Erving. So this was actually, I believe, the first year that Julius Erving was in the NBA, because he was a ABA MVP for multiple years before. So this was the first year of him being in the NBA. And then alongside that, this was a first team, Topps first team All-Star, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who, you know, any top 10 list of the NBA history, I'm not going to get into like the order of it, but any top 10 list is likely going to include Kareem. So just thought that these were two really cool pieces that tell the story of an era, and they were just priced very favorably. And I'm curious, just if you have your own collection, if you're building your own collection, who do you collect? What teams, what sports do you collect? Do you have a favorite player? Do you have a favorite set that you really like? The reason I'm asking about a favorite set is because of this next card. Now, most people would say Chronicles is, oh, that's a low-end set. But actually, the Elite set within Chronicles, I personally really like, because I think it has fantastic photography. It's got the superimposed close-up, and then it's also got like the zoomed out. On the subject of nice-looking cards, you can't really do much better for this product, for this set, than an Aiden Hutchinson autograph numbered out of 10. This is a Ron Holland. This is from Prison Draft. People are like, Prison Draft, why would you get that? Well, I personally really like cards that have the draft day image on them. And this is the Mojo. This is numbered out of 25. This is an Asar Thompson. This is a rookie from Revolution. This is the Vortex Parallel, or the Vortex Insert. And then this is the Galactic Parallel. So here's an example of some cards that I got just for grading. These are, I believe these are 1998 Black Diamond. These are just some Jordan cards. This one is not from, these two aren't from that set. I'll get to those. These are 1998 Black Diamond. These are Jordan. These are a couple of 92-93 Fleer Ultra Jordan, and then 93-94 Fleer Ultra. I'm really like taking a shot on these, and that $10 price, I got it in a bundle at a card shop. I did not pay for $10 for that. These 90s era Jordan cards, if you can get a PSA 10 on them, they're worth at least a couple $100. The thing is, you're not going to get a PSA 10 on them. And so I should know that, and I should move these out of my grading pile, but I think it's just entertaining to send them in if they look pretty good. Knowing that if they get a 9, I'll get 15, 20, $25 for them. I'll break even on them. Or be able to use them to trade into something else. I'm not too worried about it. But if you get the 10, it's pretty fun. But you're not going to get the 10 on them. That's the thing. Like the 90s era Jordan cards, which is a lot of 90s era basketball cards, are really, really difficult grades. Like the odds of you actually getting a good grade on them is really, really, really slim. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, likely MVP this year. This is just one of his rookie base cards. It sells as a PSA 10 for maybe $70, $80. Looks like it might have a little bit of edgeware at the top right. Again, this will sell for 15 to 25 in a PSA 9, so I'm okay with that. And if it gets a 10, I think it's maybe closer to $80. So I'm okay with those numbers, especially when I'm just kind of trying to offset the cost of grading with some other cards. If this can pay for 4 PC cards, if I get a 10 on this, then I'm more than happy for that. Except this is one that I had lying around for a while. I think I got it maybe just in a dollar box at a card show or something like that. This is, I believe it's 1991 AW Sports Muhammad Ali. Just a fun, interesting card. It's a PSA 10. This is in like the 150 to 200 range. Looks super clean. Same thing here. So this is Jaylen Brown. This is 2016 Optic rookie card, first year Optic. This is not the holo. This is just a regular base card. Same kind of thing. This is maybe somewhere in the range of a $60 to $90 card in a PSA 10. I'm going to fly through the next few cards, because a lot of them are kind of this similar theme. Amen Thompson, Red Ice for the Rockets. This is another one that I had lying around. This is from NWO. This is Giant. Surprised with this one. I think as a PSA 10 this goes for like 150 to 200. I think I just had it either lying around or got it in a dollar box or something like that and thought it looked clean and looked it up in Compton and was like, oh, this might actually be worth a couple bucks. Same here. Iverson Fresh Foundations. This is a tough grade. I think the gem rate on this is extraordinarily low, but again, same kind of thing. It sells for somewhere in like the $20 to $40 range as a PSA 9, and if it gets a PSA 10, it sells for more than that. So more than happy to send this in and have it pay for part of an order. And then back to some PC stuff. Still in the grading pile. I'll let you know when we switch over to the stuff that I'm not thinking about grading right now. Asar Thompson City Edition. This is from Mosaic. This is number 285 rookie. Nice rookie color match for the Pistons. J.J. McCarthy, championship winning quarterback for Michigan. This is Bowman Chrome. It's not the first. The reason why I didn't get the first was, first of all, it's not from the year that he won the championship. And second of all, it's just not as good looking because they didn't have the licenses that year, so it doesn't actually say Michigan on anywhere. But this is from the championship winning year. This is numbered out of 199. This is the blue Bowman Chrome University of J.J. McCarthy in Michigan blue. I think this is just a fantastic set by Topps. They did a really, really good work here. This is the Heart of the City insert from, I think, 2022 Topps Chrome. And this is the Aaron Judge one. It's got Aaron Judge. It's got New York. It's got the New York skyline. Just a fantastic looking card. I think this is a really underrated set. I think they only did it in 2022 Topps Chrome and Topps Chrome Update. Warning, there may be some Cade Cunningham in here. This is a Cade Cunningham Optic Holo. This is from 2021. This is a rated rookie. So there are 359 PSA 10s of this, and across the other grading companies, there's a few more 10s and 9.5s, etc. So, like, a card that there's 359 of in a PSA 10, that's not rare. I mean, it's not common, but it's not actually rare. I mean, I'm not going to go through some of my Cade cards, but you may have seen in some other videos I've done. I have cards where there's like 20 of them in a PSA 10. So, like, this is something where I might hold on to it for a little bit. If he makes an MVP run or something like that next season or the following season, then I would kind of sell these because I think they're common, and I just don't think these are like on a 5-10 year timeline. I just don't think these cards are going to hold the same amount of value when there's hundreds, sometimes like with the Prism Silvers where there's thousands of them. I just don't think that's the case. This is a card that I really do like. It's from Illusions, which is not like everybody's favorite set in the universe. It's a pretty common set, but this is a great insert. It's got, if you've ever watched Cade play, he does this exact pose like this all the time whenever he has a big play. It's got Tough over the top, just a fantastic looking card, and I think it's fairly low pop. Let me check. Yeah, I mean, there's 8 of these in a PSA 10. And there are parallels, so there are, I think, a few numbered version parallels of this. There's 8 of these in a PSA 10. There's 41 in a PSA 9, because this card has centering issues. If you look on eBay, a lot of them are off-center, which is something that I was paying attention to. So, like, this is the kind of card I would rather have a PSA 10 of this than a PSA 10 of this. Even if this one sells for $200 and this one sells for $50, in 10 years, this is going to be the more valuable card. It's iconic, it's got story to it, it's got a famous photo of his, and it's rarer. It's just harder to get in a high grade. This is a fun card. This is from Noir. This is Cade Cunningham, numbered out of 99. This is not going to grade well, so just because it's a thicker card. But it is a numbered out of 99. I will eventually get a graded just to protect it. I'm expecting an 8 on it. That's perfectly fine with some of these thicker cards. Next up, Brady. This is from Donruss Elite. This is from, what year is this from? 2008, Tom Brady, Donruss Elite. You can see this is numbered out of 400. I think that, finding relatively rare numbered cards of a player like Brady, and not saying that out of 400 is rare, but comparatively for the era where there were not as many numbered cards, there were not as many parallels, it is to the equivalent of something today that would be maybe numbered out of like 150 or numbered out of 200 or 199. I would say this is kind of on par with that. And so to me, getting something like that for 20 or 25 bucks just seems like there was a little bit of an incongruence in the market there. I'll hold this for a while. I'll get it graded. If it gets a 10, I'll hold it for a while. I have some Brady stuff. I prefer his stuff in Michigan uniform just because, I don't think many people would say that, but I prefer his stuff in the Michigan uniform. So I might hold this, might use it for trading, or just hold it and see what happens with it, but I'm not in a rush with that. Here's another Cade Cunningham Optic Holo. Here's a fun one. This is the Asar Thompson. This is Donruss Elite, one of my favorite sets, just because of the design, the foil, background. This is the Gold Hyper, numbered out of 10. This is, I believe, from the Asia releases. So there's the regular gold, and then there's the Gold Hyper, and this is the Hyper ones come from the Asia releases, I believe. So this is numbered out of 10. I think this is the first year that they actually had a numbered Hyper. Usually in the previous years, I don't think it was numbered. Next one. Speaking of stories, speaking about like iconic sets, etc., this is from 2012 Prism. This is the Brilliance insert. It's the silver. 2012 is the first year that Panini ever did Prism. It was the first year that they had the football license. It was the first year, I think, no, they did basketball cards before that, but it was the first year that they did football cards. The Calvin Johnson, 2012 non-insert Prism, silver, even in a PSA 9, that card is worth hundreds of dollars. I saw this. This is the insert of the Brilliance insert. This is the silver parallel. And the silvers were not common back then. Nowadays, there's hundreds, if not thousands, silvers of every single player, some of the inserts, etc. Back then, they were not. This was on eBay for like 20 bucks or something like that. Last time it sold was on October 10th for 15 bucks. Time before it sold out was August 8th. So it sold twice in 2024. Before that was November 10th, 2023. It sold 3 times in 2023. Sorry, 2 times in 2023. And then a few times in 2022. This is a really rare card. This does not come up often, but for some reason it sells for 15, 20, 25 bucks, and that makes zero sense. It's an extremely rare card from one of the most iconic modern card sets, the 2012 Prism run, which is the first time that Panini ever did Prism. Cards from that set, silver prisms from that set go for some of them for thousands of dollars, and I was able to get this for 15 bucks. That's crazy to me. It doesn't make any sense. even though it is an insert, so it sells a little bit less. I think this looks good. I will send it in for grading. I'm expecting an 8 or a 9. I'm fine with that. But I just thought it was too cheap. And that's kind of a big theme of stuff that you'll notice here. Especially some of the stuff that maybe isn't stuff like this, which just, I think I opened some retail packs from Walgreens or something like that, and I got this Cade Cunningham. This is a courtside blue shimmer. This is non-numbered. This is a retail parallel. This is not rare. This is not incredibly uncommon. But, it's a rookie of a top player, so I'll send it off for grading. Again, this is the kind of thing where I'll hold on to this until the right time. He makes an MVP run, they make a deep finals run in the playoff or something like that, and then at that point I'll just go ahead and sell it and kind of consolidate into some of the stuff that I like more. Right now, this is probably as a PSA 10 somewhere in the range of 60 to 140, give or take, and I'm not looking, but that's loosely where it is. And, the courtside is the rarest version of Select, but also, all of the parallels that are happening in modern sports, and it's even getting worse now compared to 2021, which is crazy to say because there was a lot then. This is not, a crazy rare card, but it is something that I'll grade it, I'll set it aside for a while, and at the right time, I'll trade it or sell it for something else. Next up, a little bit of Lions here. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is the Classics. This is the gold, numbered out of 99. It's not extraordinarily rare or anything like that. Sorry. There you go. Same kind of thing. This is kind of a dull card for a gold. It's a paper card. I think it's a little bit off center. But again, one of the best players on the Lions. He's really a core part of their current identity. So thought I would grab this because again, it was just way too cheap on eBay. Same kind of thing. Kirby Joseph. So this is interesting because Kirby Joseph, the safety for the Lions, was, I believe, either a late draft. I think he was a late draft pick for the Lions in 2022. So he was only in one product for 2022. He was only in Select. And he didn't have many parallels or anything like that. And so I became aware of that because he was starting to play really well. He was getting some interceptions. So I started to look at some of his cards, and I noticed that from his rookie year, he pretty much only had Select. And I started to keep an eye on his cards, and I noticed that he had this blue parallel. This is numbered out of 99. And he didn't have a lot of numbered parallels. And I noticed that his cards, even the base and the silvers and everything like that, were starting to sell for a pretty good number. Especially, towards the end of the year. I think he ended the year with 9 interceptions or some crazy number. He had a fantastic year last year. And I thought to myself, if his base silver is selling for $30, then his light blue color match for the Lions, the Honolulu blue, light blue, out of 99, should sell for a lot more than that. But it wasn't. It was selling for $20 or $30. So I grabbed this. Now, you could say I made a mistake here because by the end of the season and going into the playoffs, this exact card was selling for $120 or $130, and I probably should have sold it. But I like the card. I don't mind keeping it. A lot of these are slightly off center, so I think that I looked at some of the PSA 10s, and they do have this level of centering issues. So I'm not expecting a 10 when I send this in for grading, but I actually, with his cards, because he has so few true rookie cards, the grade is actually less relevant because there's just not a lot of them out there, and especially the numbered ones and the color match ones, there's just not a lot of them out there. I think the next blue in the parallel is blue out in 199 or something like that. So overall, this was a great buy. I think if I wanted to, I could sell it right now for an easy $100, but probably going to just set it aside, send it off to grading at the right time. And just something to notice, and the point I want to make here is that sometimes, especially in football or baseball, where you have these longer drafts, players, it doesn't happen as much in basketball, but it does sometimes. Certain players who were maybe undrafted or players who were drafted in the later rounds and didn't have any buzz coming into the season will only be in 1 or 2 sets, will only have 1 or 2 rookie cards. And if they end up being really good, and you can recognize that early, then you can actually do really, really well by grabbing their cards. I know that in baseball this is a lot more common because there's so many baseball players that kind of come out of nowhere from the minor leagues who maybe were drafted 4 years ago and then they didn't have like a great, they weren't well known at the time, or they didn't have any buzz, so they weren't in a lot of like the Bowman sets, etc. But also, here's an example of that happening in football. Austin Reeves is an example of somebody like that in basketball, where I think he was undrafted but came on strong in his rookie year. So by the end of his rookie year, he was in basketball products. But something to think about and keep an eye out for when you're recognizing players. On the subject of recognizing players, nobody's got to say anything about this guy, Victor Wembanyama. So this is from that Topps Chrome release, the one that had the Players Association licensing but didn't have the league license. This is a rookie card. This is a round ball royalty, which is a well-known insert from the 90s. A lot of this specific card in the 2023 Topps Chrome release are off-center. So I noticed that when I was looking at some of them, and I saw this one was well-centered. So I thought, especially because a lot of the unlicensed stuff just like has a blank jersey, and the way this is covering the where like the team name would be, I just thought, considering that this insert has legacy back to the 90s, considering that it's not as obvious of an unlicensed card, and this is one that has a lot of centering issues. If you look it up, I just thought it was an interesting enough card to grab and hold on to and send in for grading at the right time. Similar theme here. This is from the actual Prism set. So this is the Luck of the Lottery insert, and something to know about these is actually these are pretty rare. And I'll tell you exactly how rare. For PSA, there are 66 of these as a PSA 10. Now, for a player like Victor Wembanyama, pretty much everyone who has one has sent it in or is planning to send it in. So I have to imagine that there's somewhere in the range of maybe 100 to 300 silvers of this insert. Now, in comparison, if you look at his regular silver, there are 4,420 PSA 10s. Same exact set. The only difference is that this is an insert. There are 66 PSA 10s of this. There are 4,420 of his terrible picture with the curtain in the background showing the ground from his rookie photo shoot. They absolutely botched that picture. Panini just was so disrespectful with that being his primary rookie card. People know the Prism Silver is what people collect. It's a bad picture. It's way too common. There's 4,400 Prism Silver PSA 10s, and in the same exact set, you have this, the Luck of the Lottery, that shows him on draft night holding up the number 1 finger. It's an iconic story built into the picture. The Spurs were lucky to get the draft pick. Nobody thought that. And this card has a lot of centering issues. If you look at them on eBay, a lot of them are way off center either way. And so this was one that I thought that I would grab. I actually knew about it a while ago, so I grabbed the one, I graded it, I got a 9, I sold it, and then I grabbed this again for around $40. Now, if you go and look at what the ungraded silver Prism goes for, at least a few hundred, if not more. So I just think, again, an example of something where there was an arbitrage opportunity and something that I would be very comfortable holding onto this card for 10 years. You know, he becomes a perennial MVP candidate. He becomes a perennial Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He wins a couple championships. I think this card will hold a lot more value than the terrible rookie photo shoot Prism Silver that has 4,400 PSA 10s compared to this that has 66, and maybe in a few years will maybe have 100 or 150 PSA 10s. So just my thought process on this, and I really, again, this is my own thought process, and I encourage you to at least consider this when you're buying, because yes, you can make money on the hype and what people think they should buy, but eventually people catch up and realize, hey, this is not rare. There's 4,400 of this card. On the subject of rare, this is a 2006 Fleer Ultra Platinum Medallion of Ben Wallace. This is from when the Pistons made the championship run in the following couple of years. Platinum Medallion is a very iconic insert from the 90s. And so you would think that with the 2000s ones, those would be just as iconic. For example, Ben Wallace's rookie 1996 Platinum Medallion, that card sells raw in terrible condition, and I've seen it for minimum $300. Like, we're talking about terrible edges, terrible corners. It obviously will not grade well. That card will sell every single time 300 plus. Now, obviously, that's a rookie card, but this is basically the same exact set, but just not in the 90s anymore. This is the 2006 Platinum Medallion, same exact card, same exact parallel, and I got this for 15, 20 bucks, maybe less. So I just thought, again, there was just a mismatch in value. This is extraordinarily rare. If you want, you can get the gold medallion version, which is more common, but if you want to get the Platinum Medallion, it's rare, and you're going to have a hard time finding another one of these if you want to. At any time, there might be one or two of these listed on eBay, if even. And so it's just something where, yes, like, it's not the rookie version, but at the same time, it's a Hall of Famer, it's a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, it's a champion, etc., etc. And just something that I thought of. And I think a lot of that era, the early to mid 2000s era, if you look at a lot of the really famous 90s inserts that were being put out, and then you look for some of those same inserts in the early 2000s, you'd be really surprised at the price mismatch that's going on there, even if it's the same exact card, same exact set. But for whatever reason, people just don't value the ones from the early to mid 2000s. And I think that's a little bit odd. Next up, I am a big fan of stuff from a player's first year. And now a lot of people are like, duh, rookie cards, right? No. When a player gets traded to a new team, or when a player ends up, signing with a new team, I think that there's a lot of stuff that, there's a lot of just story built into a card like that. Especially from the earlier sets. Now, this is not a crazy valuable set. This is gold standard. It's one of the first sets that comes out every year. I don't want to say it's the first football set, but it's one of the first football sets that comes out every year. This is a Jared Goff. This is from 2021, the first year that he signed with the Lions, or was traded to the Lions, my bad. And let me see. You can see right over there, this is numbered 4 out of 5. Again, this was just way too cheap. I think I paid less than 20 bucks on this on eBay. And this tells an entire story. It's one of the first sets of the year from the year that he was traded. Some of the earlier sets, like classics, I think still have him in his Rams uniform. So it's one of his first ever cards in a Lions uniform. It's rare. It looks good. It's got good color matching. I just thought that this is, when you're looking for a card that tells a story, this is pretty high up on the list of the story of Jared Goff joining the Lions. This is one I got a long time ago. I got this maybe 2 or 3 years ago. This is Ben Wallace. This is Skybox limited edition, gold proof numbered out of 150 from 2004-2005 season, die cut. A numbered Ben Wallace card. I think I got this so long ago that I couldn't even tell you what I paid for it, but it was not a lot. Ben Wallace collectors are very dedicated, and a lot of his numbered cards, even from his rookie years, but from his Pistons years, from the championship years, etc., can really hold a premium. And I think at the time I was just looking online and I saw that this was pretty cheap, and I thought that, hey, it's a cheap numbered Ben Wallace card from right around when they won the championship, let me grab it. I think I bought this around the same time a couple years ago. This is a Richard Hamilton. This is from a Topps, which set is this? Topps Letterman. This is numbered out of 25, and this is from 2008, so towards the end of their run, but numbered out of 25, Rip Hamilton, can't complain about that. Going back to the Pop Report theme, so this is an Asia Red-Yellow card from Illusions. This is Kate Cunningham, rookie year 2021. The Operation Detonation insert is not particularly rare, but the red-yellow ones are really rare. Let me see if I can find a number for you. The regular Operation Detonation is Pop 10 PSA, but that's mainly because people aren't grading it as much. But if you add in the red, yellow, the Asia red, yellow, it's a Pop 2. And you could go online and you could buy the non-Asia like the regular base version of this insert for just a couple of bucks right now if you wanted to. But if you look, you'll see if you typed in Asia red or Asia Red Yellow, you would see that there is not many that come up. Obviously, you'd want to like sort eBay by the lowest price and to get rid of a lot of like the stuff that are showing like the suggested stuff. But you would see that there's not a lot of these out there. I could buy 20 of the base right now, and maybe I should, for probably less than $40, $50, maybe $60 at most. I don't think I could actually physically buy 20 of these off of eBay right now because I don't think there are 20 of the Asia Red Yellows listed on eBay. Again, the same kind of topic. Like, sure, this might not be like a popular card in terms of people chasing down Illusions retail inserts, but it's rare, and that matters to me. Next up, 2021 rookie card of Amon-Ra St. Brown. This is the blue color match numbered out of 75. Not much to say there. Brian Branch for the Lions, safety. This is the blue out of 199 from Optic. Asar Thompson. You saw this before in the Prism with the Calvin Johnson from 2012. This is the 2023 version. This is the Asar Thompson Brilliance, silver, and non-numbered, but overall, a nice rookie card. I like silver inserts from a lot of the major sets because a lot of them are a lot less common than some of the main ones. Asar Thompson, blue out of 99. Donruss Elite, one of my favorite. Nice color match. This is Asar Thompson out of 25 from Hoops Premium Stock. Great set. I think, again, this was just ending on auction cheap. And great picture, so why not? I think it's the Attack the Rack insert. Select Asar Thompson. This is the blue disco out of 99. Chauncey Billups. I think this is a 2009-2010 certified champions, numbered out of 25. I got another Richard Hamilton here. This is from Prestige 2009, which is I think the first year that Panini had the basketball license. Again, this is numbered out of 25. And then last but not least, I got this at a card show. It doesn't matter what the grade is. Ignore this. I'm going to crack it out and send it into PSA. But I think I got this for $30 and it was kind of bundled in, so it was probably closer to 25. This is the LeBron James Topps Choctaws card. Very iconic card, very iconic photo. This is the base version, the base paper version. I haven't had this card before. I haven't really you can get it on eBay for $30 if you want to. So it's not like I got a great deal on this. But I thought that it looked clean. I thought the centering looked okay. I don't see why this would be graded as an 8. Maybe it has a little bit of a soft corner. But even as a 9, this goes for $60 or $70, maybe even 80 depending on the day. So I thought that, no, I think I'm wrong on that. I think that was as a 10. But I haven't had this card. It's one of the most iconic cards of the era. Obviously, I would love to have the Chrome or one of the Parallels, etc., but I don't mind getting this one for myself. And again, I'm going to crack it out because the grading company doesn't matter for this. I'm going to crack it in and send it into a legitimate grader. And so that's the pile of stuff that I plan to eventually send off for grading at some point in the future. And I just wanted to say thank you for your time. I know this is a longer video and you have been patient. And I'm going to quickly just fly through some of the next stuff. There's not going to be as much talk about values. This is more just like the cool pile, stuff that I like that I got for myself. And there might be a couple things that maybe I'm not sending in for grading right now, but I think that they're interesting to hold on to. But I'll go through this a lot quicker. So this is 2023 Donruss Elite. This is the Isaiah Stewart Hyper Gold out of 10. Again, just was really cheap on eBay. I love Donruss Elite, and I really, really like these golds. I think they look great. Isaiah Stewart is definitely one of my favorite players on the Pistons currently. And I think everybody needs a player that's not popular to collect because it makes it easy to get the rare cards without breaking the bank. So I encourage you, find somebody on your favorite team that's maybe not like the most, the superstar player, and you're going to enjoy your collecting a lot more if you can get those kinds of players than if you're always chasing the multi-$1,000, I need to get the LeBron James rarest card, etc., or the rarest Jordan or whatever. It just makes collecting so unattainable when that's all you care about. So I encourage you to find other parts of, your favorite players or your favorite teams or your favorite sports that you care about. Next up, this was a fun one. This is Malik Beasley. This is his first card in the Pistons uniform. It's from 2024 Prism. This is the copper fast break number 220. I think I got this 420 shipped. There you go. And he's been on an absolute heater this year. I didn't really want to get, I could have gotten like the numbered out of 199 or something like that for $5, but I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to get some, like, if I'm going to get a role player's card, if I'm going to get a card of a player who may not be there in a couple of years, I want it to be something that I'm okay holding on with, that I know has a little bit of rarity to it, even if it's not maybe super valuable. But I don't want to just get something, oh yeah, I got the base card so that I can check a box of having that player's card. I would want to get something that is actually fun and interesting. Next up, Bobby Clinton for the Pistons. I wish he's gotten more playing time this year, but the Pistons have just been too good to give him a lot of playing time, unfortunately. He's looked great every time that he's played. He looked great in Summer League. He was shooting a lot of threes, big point forward type of player. This is the Prism Power out of 75 rookie card. Nothing too crazy there, but nice to collect. Next up, this is a set that I thought, when it came out, a lot of people were like, why are they doing this? But it actually was done really, really well. This is Prism Deco from 2023. And this is the Isaiah Stewart. This is the Mojo out of 25. Just fantastic card, very rare card. If you don't know, the silvers in this set are extraordinarily rare. Not as rare as out of 25. They're probably maybe 100 to 200 of each silvers. But if you looked up any player on eBay and looked up their silver from Prism Deco, you would actually be surprised how few of them are listed. Like, we're talking maybe just a couple of them listed, and they don't transact all that often too. It's a little bit of an unknown thing that people don't realize about that Prism Deco is how rare the silvers are. Next up is this Isaiah Stewart. This is a 2024 Prism. This is numbered out of 35. This is the Blue Shimmer. I like this. It's the first off the line exclusive. It's the blue. The other options for the blue, I think there's like a blue out of 125 and a blue out of 199 and a blue out of 150, whatever, etc., etc. I thought that this was, I don't know, maybe $10. And good looking card. And as I was saying, it's easy to collect some of your favorite players if they're not the best player on the team. Like, yeah, I have a lot of Cade stuff. I have some really rare Cade stuff, but I also like having stuff from other players on my favorite teams as well. Next up, Jaden Ivey. This is a silver Prism. He's starting to work his way back from a broken leg. I just didn't see any rush to sending this stuff in for grading. This will be in a grading pile probably going into next season. But again, I'm not in any rush to sell this, but it's also not rare. Like, if you look at the 2022 Silver Prism, Paolo Banchero, who's or the Chet Holmgren, the most popular players from that draft, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of PSA 10s of them. So, this is the kind of card where I'm not in a rush to sell it. He's still a young player. He's still getting his legs underneath him. He's coming back from an injury. Let them go on a playoff run. Let them have a good season, a couple more good seasons. And then I might use this to trade into something rarer of his or somebody else that I collect. On the subject of rarity, these are rare, but they're not particularly valuable. These are the hoops, regular basic hoops. Steph Curry, these are the red backs. So one of these is from 2023, one of these is from 2013. This is the 2023. This is the 2013. And these are just a very short printed parallel from hoops. And these don't go for anything crazy. PSA 10, these are maybe 30, 40, $50 for a player like Curry, superstar player. So they're nothing crazy. But I've been buying them for $2, $3, $4, $5, $6. I've bought some of these and some other players, and nothing too crazy. But I just think that, again, it's an area where long term the rarity is going to start to become something people pay more attention to. And if I'm sitting there and I'm like, hey man, this is a card that never transacts. It's a PSA 10. There's 6 of these that exist in the world. We can all agree it's not the most valuable card, but we can agree that it has value because it's rare. I think to me that's an interesting conversation, whether I want to trade or whether I'm in a position where I'm just looking to build a collection that appreciates well over time. Blake Corum, we already took a look at the JJ McCarthy from this set, but this is the Blake Corum out of 199. Same kind of thing, just it's not the first Bowman of Blake Corum, but it is numbered out of 199. It is from the year that they won the championship. I think those things matter when you're looking at, it's a color match. I think those things matter a lot when you're looking at the story of a player, when you're looking at the story of a team, when you're looking at the story of a card. Like when you're looking at a collector, those are the things that they care about more than just, oh, it's the rarest, most extreme parallel. Sure, they will care about that some, but if you are able to say, hey, this is from the year they won the championship, this is from the year, this is a color match, it's a numbered version, etc., those kinds of things really do matter. Next up, Aiden Hutchinson. This is rookie numbered out of 99. This is from Chronicles, but it's the photogenic set. It was the first year that, or I don't know if it was the first year, but it was before photogenic football became a standalone set this past year. Just great looking photo. I think this has a tipped corner, which is why I'm not going to send it in for grading right now. Here's a few cards that I personally don't care about, but I might send in for grading eventually if they make sense. Pat Fryermuth, Optic Hollow, tight end for the Steelers, 91 Fleer. Jordan, at the right time, if there's a special and it's like $12 a card to grade or something like that, sure, I'll send these in. Jordan, this is from, I believe, this is 1990, 1990 Collegiate Collection in his UNC uniform. Evan Mobley, Blue Velocity. Again, this is a very common card, which is why I'm not sending it now. Next up, this is the Hyper Prism for Jaden Ivey. So the Hypers are only in, and if you've watched any of my videos before, you've heard me say this, the Hypers are only in hobby boxes, so they are actually way more short printed than the same card in the silver. This is the silver, and then this is the Hyper. These you can get from any Prism product, whether it's the most inexpensive retail product or the most expensive hobby product. You can only pull the Hyper parallels from the hobby boxes. So these, even though it's the same card, it's a different parallel, these are way more short printed, to the degree of like there's a tenth of these on the market compared to how many of these. If there's hundreds or thousands of these, there's tens or dozens of these in PSA 10s. Something to keep an eye on for yourself. Second year Dirk, I got this in a $1 box. I think it sells in a PSA 10 for 40 or 50 bucks, but I think because it's a 90 errors foil card, I just had hesitation. So if there's a special and it's $12 a card to send in, sure, I'll send this in. A little bit of prospecting here. Jabari Smith Jr., I thought he was going to have a fantastic season. I think that his play style is great, but for whatever reason, he doesn't seem to be clicking with the Rockets. And if the Rockets want to make a trade with the Pistons and dump him off for a draft pick to us, I'm more than happy to take him on our team. This is, I talked about this before, I think I said it was Elite before, but it's actually Essentials in Chronicle. This is numbered, where's the numbering? This is the Asia Red numbered out of 48. Next up, back to talking about interesting rare stuff. This is a Prism Draft Picks Mosaic from 2015 Prism Draft. And this is Calvin Johnson. This is before they did the mosaic stained glass, like as a chase insert. I think this is the first or second year that they ever did it. It's Calvin Johnson. It's fun. It's interesting. It was cheap. You guys already know what I'm buying and why. I thought this was cool. I'll get it graded at the right time. Aiden Hutchinson out of 999 from Donruss Elite. 2019 Juan Soto. This is the Gold Cup. And this is the Topps Chrome Refractor version. This card has had a bit of a journey. If you just follow the price chart of this card in a PSA 10 went all the way up to a few $100 and then all the way back down into like the 50 to 70 range, just depending on how Soto's been doing. This is a second year card, but because it's got the Gold Cup, it's kind of considered like an extended rookie. Similar before to how I was talking about the Curry Redbacks being pretty rare, and I was also talking about the Prism Hypers being rare. This fits into that. This is a Prism Hyper from 2018. It's Curry. You can't go wrong with Curry. Again, as a PSA 10, this isn't crazy valuable. But if there's a grading special, I can send this in for $12, maybe $15. It sells in a PSA 10 for 40 to 50. But I also think that if you look at the pop report, and I'm not going to check right now, if you look at the pop report, there are not a lot of. Next up, look at the lottery. I already talked about this insert set and how it's much more short printed than the mainline Prism one. I have the Wembanyama. I collect Pistons. I had to get the SR. I also love draft night photos. I just think that they're so fun on cards because, you know, you look back on that 10, 15 years. I mean, the LeBron draft night photos with the big suit, like, it's iconic. Jordan, this is just a Jordan base card. Back to the photogenic subset in Chronicles for football. Last year they broke it out finally to its own product, but for a couple years there it was in Chronicles. This is the Jamison Williams. This is numbered out of 25. Wide receiver for the Lions. I think it has a soft corner, which is why it's not in my grading pile right now. Great looking card. Great young player for the Lions. Definitely a big part of what they do. Next up, this is Jack Campbell. This is the Mirror Gold from Certified out of 25. Next up, Red Ice. This is Jabari. Again, he didn't have the season that people thought he would, or I thought he would. So this was the color match, and it's not particularly rare, but I got it just so that I could potentially arbitrage it later in the season, but it just didn't seem like the right season for me to do that. Just got a few more, so just wanted to say thank you for your patience. Have a Tyrese Halliburton. Dyson Daniels having a bit of a resurgence. The Great Barrier Thief in Atlanta after he was traded. Scoot Henderson, kind of the same thing. Optic Hollow, one of the go-to rookie cards for a player. There's Jalen Green. Or the Pulsar Parallel for Optic. Brandon Miller over in Charlotte. This is his Bowman first from his days in Alabama. This is numbered to $2.99. Again, this was in a dollar box, just seemed too cheap. Being Dyson Daniels, this is a rookie numbered out of 99. This is the Panini Player of the Day card, I believe. Last but not least, this is the Cade Cunningham Pulsar from Optic as well, and same buy. It just was, I think, $4 or $5. Just wanted to say thank you for just being willing to hang out for so long. If you have, have you seen a favorite card here or something that really stood out to you? Here's a couple of fun ones. I got these a while ago in a Whatnot show. These are like 1947 Disney playing cards. I always forget the name of the set, and I could look it up, but I'm not going to right now. But these have like Minnie and Mickey Mouse on them. These were also from, I think these are from, 1954. I forget the name of the set, but Charles Dickens and Jules Verne. I got these two and a half years ago at a card show here in town, but these were a fun buy as well that I've done pretty well on because the guy also had a bunch of like early 1900s boxing pugilist cards, and so I sold a lot of those on eBay and kept some of the ones that I wanted to keep for myself. On that note, I'm curious, did you have a favorite card here? Was it maybe some of this stuff over here? Was it some of this early vintage that I showed with Kareem and Julius Erving? If you did have a favorite card here, feel free to share below, and if you have a favorite player that you collect, a favorite team, I would love to hear that from you. On that note, I hope you have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. I hope this has been enjoyable. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share this with a friend if you would like, and I'll talk to you later. Have a great day.